I've been online the whole time. Kind of worried now if I've been not sure if I've been online this whole time. So shit. So, ah, fuck me.
Somebody say, hey, we want some.
No, 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 no. I, yes, I did say I would use that song for an intro, but I was just kidding. I can't play that song on YouTube. Why? First of all, copyright infringement, and the lyrics of that song will probably get me kicked off YouTube. Sorry. Sorry, folks. Production team. Okay, let's work on another song. Until then, let's let it rip.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with the cornbread accent, who has been sitting here for 30 minutes, talking to nobody. Apparently, this is the second time it happened. It said everything was kind of on, but it wasn't. So anyway, we'll start this over again. Welcome to take two. Welcome to Wrestling Gold Friday Night. I am Ronald Ray, your boy with the cornbread accent. To all those men and women who's got to work this weekend and stuff like that. Let me go back to my story I said before. Hopefully, uh, everybody started getting in the chat and everything. Uh, anyway, so last week I told everybody that I was feeling under the weather, and let's just call it a wound on the back of my leg. So, uh, uh, so I went to the doctor Tuesday. They weighed me and kind of found out I weighed 30 pounds less than I did last time I visited, 17, 2018. That's, trust me, I gained a lot more weight after that. So, uh, but anyway, it showed that I was 30 pounds less than what I weighed on my last visit. Uh, so then last Thursday, I uh, I went seeing a wound specialist nurse, and dressed up and everything, and knowing what to do. course, Tuesday they gave me the antibiotics and stuff like that. They redressed the wound, told me to get this little stuff and kind of rub it, or rub on it and rinse off, patch it back up and all that good stuff. So it's like she tells me, it's like, okay, do this, and there's one other thing we would like for you to do, and that's lose some weight. I'm like, come on, I thought there's no like attaboy, good thing you lost, 30 pounds, in the last few years, and please keep it up. Nah, not that. It's very cold, lose some weight. So, but anyway, as you see, I already kind of did a cheers, but now since I'm live, I'll do a cheers again. Cheers to all the men and women who's got to work this weekend. Cheers to all the men and women who busted their ass this weekend, and cheers to all the Kaiser Permanente employees who had to see way more of me than nature intended. Cheers to you all. So yeah, Joe King, what's up? About to get that. Anyway, so if you're joining me live, of course, join me in the chat here, and either bless us with any of your memories you have of anything we talk about tonight. Of course, tonight we're going to feature some Stampede Wrestling from 1987, I think. Yeah, which one? I did 1987. That way, people might be more familiar with the names. Anyway, we got that going on tonight. So yeah, so if you live in Canada or lived in Canada during that time and watched Stampede Wrestling, please bless us for your memories and the chat. Or like I said, if you watch this later on, because it's going to stay on YouTube forever. You watch the replay, leave a comment, or comment, say hello. That's always appreciated. It's always friendly to have people say hello to you. Also, if you're entertained by this, even though I screwed up again, click that like button, which is a thumbs up button. Lets me know you like it. Also, if you're not a subscriber yet, be a champion. Click on that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and that is greatly appreciated. Like I said, I want to try and get this channel growing, trying to improve myself, doing this. So all the viewership or all the viewerships, greatly appreciated, greatly appreciated. And also, hey, I need those subscribers too. So let's get this thing cranked up. Where did I start? So anyway, yeah, I totally screwed this tonight's program. Oh, so let's go back to repeat myself. Take two of today in wrestling history. That's what we always start off with. Every program we start off and discussing today in wrestling history. Of course, today is November 8th, year of our Lord 2024. I just like the way that sounds. Just like the way it sounds. But Joe King, what's up? And Joe King, yes, working this weekend. Salute you, but that's all I got left. Hello, Brenda Watson. Hey, we do match tonight, by the way. Pink drink. Not gonna try not to show the logo since it's gonna be advertised. Bring on the chimichangas. Yeah, sorry you got work this weekend. I don't, thank goodness. But we salute you that had to work this weekend. But yes, this is how we start every Wrestling Gold Friday night. Of course, Wrestling Gold Friday night, where we discuss the good old days of professional wrestling, back when wrestling was wrestling, back when wrestling was real. Damn it. So anyway, on this date, 1971, in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Mid-South Coliseum, Robert Fuller and Bearcat Brown defeated Spudnik Monroe and Norville Lawson to win the Southern Tag Team Championship. Let's see. On this day in 1974, in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Municipal Auditorium, NWA World Heavyweight Champion Jack Briscoe and Mr. Wrestling 2 win a Broadway draw. Also on that show, in a loser leaves town match, Harley Race defeated this kid named Iron Mike McCord. He would trim down, get toned up, and become Austin Idol later on in his career. I think another couple of years. I think this when he started being 2 or 3 years. I think when he started becoming Austin Idol. Idolmania, brother. Anyway, on this date in 1975, Nick Bockwinkel defeated Vern Gagne in St. Paul, Minnesota for the AWA World Heavyweight Champion in front of a crowd of 6,322. Also on the show, Vampiro Firpo battled Baron Von Raschke to a no contest. Billy Robinson defeated Kim Duck. Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell defeated Bobby Duncan and Buddy Wolf. Joe LeDuc defeated Don Wade. Don't not quite sure about Don Wade's career. Well, obviously, before I was born, so long way before my time. So if you have any memories of Don Wade, please share them in the comments or the chat here. Also on this date, the family of Ricky Dozen. They were kind of in their feels about Antonio Inoki trying to attempt a coup and wind up forming another promotion called New Japan Pro Wrestling. They ordered him to stop referring to himself as a Ricky Dozen student. Ricky Dozen was the father of Japanese pro wrestling until he passed away. Let's see. On this date in 1979, we had C.G. Sakaguchi defeating Pat Patterson for the WWF North American Championship, which was a predecessor to the WWF Intercontinental Championship. The WWF had stopped recognizing the title, but Sakaguchi continued defending it as a North American title until early 1981. On this date in 1980, Rick Martel and Tony Gurria defeated the Wild Samoans Alpha and Sika for the WWF World Tag Team Championship in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tony Gurria had a lot of tag team partners. Didn't he team with like a young Larry Zbyszko too to win the tag team titles? Maybe Tito Santana as well. I can't remember. It seems like he was the veteran. Seems like he was the veteran who would form a tag team with a young up and comer, and they will win the tag team titles, and lose them, split up, whatever. No big deal. All right. On this date in 1982 in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Mid-South Coliseum, drawing 7,329 people, Spike Hubert and Carl Fergie, Steve Regal, not Lord Steven Regal, who became William Regal, Mr. Electricity, Steve Regal, defeated the Angel, Bill Dundee, and Dutch Mantell. Defeated Coco Ware and Bobby Eaton by DQ. The Sheep Herders, Jonathan Boyd and Luke Williams, defeated Jerry Roberts, who was actually Jacques Rougeau, and Terry Taylor. I remember a shooting interview, I think it was Steve Kern. And this one, Steve Kern was teaming with Stan Lane. They were the Fabulous Ones. And they were riding with Jacques Rougeau and Terry Taylor. And apparently they didn't get along too well. So one night, I think Stan was driving, Kern was in the passenger seat, and Taylor and Rougeau were arguing like, married couple. And that's what he called it. But anyway, they were bickering. And Steve just got tired of it, told Stan to pull the car over so they can go relieve themselves. This is obviously way back when you do that. You can't do that nowadays, but if you do, you make sure you're deep in those woods so nobody can see you. Anyway, I digress. So they got a car. Stan and Steve zip down, zip up, and jump back in the car and let them on the side of the road. So yeah, So if you're, you know, you're in a road trip with somebody, you're bickering, watch out. They might say, hey, let's stop at the store here and relieve ourselves and wait for you to get out and jump in the car and leave you at the store. So anyway, speaking of Stan and Steve, the fabulous ones, Stan Lane and Steve Kern, defeated Jesse Barr and Crusher Broomfield. Of course, Crusher Broomfield became the one man gang, the badass from South Chicago, master of the 747 Splash. Unfortunately, he also became a king of the African dream. But he did, you know, get the haircut again and won my game again in WCW. But the match was lost by them. Jackie Fargo pinned Jimmy Hart in a lumberjack match, and Jerry Lawler pinned Nick Bockwinkel in a no DQ hair versus title match to win the Southern Heavyweight title. And of course, that Southern Heavyweight title was Jerry Lawler's belt. That's what people always said. Also on this date in 1982, Ted DiBiase, son of Ted DiBiase, or Ted DiBiase Jr., son of Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, is born. Dude looked like he was going to have a good career, man. He had, the right look, the right build, could talk, but unfortunately, he thought he could make uh, more money doing other things, and now he's in trouble. Apparently, uh, he kind of ripped some people off. So, or that's what they're saying. Not forgot the whole case. I remember reading about it. It is what it is. He'll pay for his sins. I say. He'll pay for his sins. Can I get amen? Anyway, also on this date in 1987, speaking of birthdays, Kazuchika Okada was born on this date in 1987. Of course, he's a big star in AEW. Was a bigger star in New Japan Pro Wrestling, multi-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Probably ranked one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. But yeah, he was born on this date in 1987. So happy birthday to Ted DiBiase Jr. and Okada. Also on this date in 1980 or 97, ECW Ultimate Jeopardy 97 took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the ECW Arena, drawing 1,100 people. Chris Candido, Lance Storm defeated Tommy Rogers and Jerry Lynn. Mikey Winfrey pinned Spike Dudley. Al Snow pinned Paul Diamond. Axel Rotten defeated Devon Deli, John Cronus, and Tracy Smothers in a four-way dance. Justin Krebel defeated Chris Chetty. The Blue Meanie pinned Jason Knight. ECW World Champion Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Shane Douglas. Taz and Tommy Dreamer defeated Sabu and Rob Van Dam. And that is your rundown on this date in wrestling history. Let me reiterate something. Uh, this is what I talking about when I realized I wasn't recording. As I talked about last time, I'm very much intrigued about the Atlanta War. I want to kind of ingest as much as I can about it. So if you're around that time, or if you know somebody's got video of like full episodes of All South Wrestling, I would love to share those here. And hopefully one day I'll get all the information together and probably do a whole retrospect on uh, the Atlanta Wrestling War at the time. So if you have any stories or anything like that as a fan, or if you know somebody who knows somebody, give me some stories to tell. I would jot those down and probably tell them. And another thing that's intrigued me lately, because the other day one of the recommendations I seen was the Plan B video. That's the one with Ron Wright, Bob Root, Bob Orton, Ron Garvin did during the Knoxville War, which is the one I heard was the Land War was a little civil or civilized. The Knoxville War Not so much. They were going on TV, talking about wanting to actually fight people. They actually, I think Bob Roop and Bob Orton or something like somebody, you know, attended a Knoxville's Southeastern Championship Wrestling show and threatened to beat up a couple people who were wrestling in the ring. Uh, but yeah, that was so yeah, those two things are kind of intriguing me a lot. So I would love to hear all the stories and anything else. I mean, there were some shenanigans pulled off in the Georgia War, according to Jim Wilson's book. I'm going to call it according to Jim Wilson's book. I'm going to have to reread a lot of that, kind of ingest a lot of the stuff. And of course, when I say that, whenever I do get together and get that video done, uh, anything will say, I will say this is what I heard. So, uh, so take that for what it's worth. But anyway, we got some Stampede Wrestling. Who's ready to watch some Stampede Wrestling? Oh, by the way, I did do a video a year ago, actually. Now, this one, the first link I'm going to share, this is the video I did doing a recap of the Tales from the Territories episode of Stampede Wrestling. So this ain't the actual episode of Stampede Wrestling. This is the video I did about Stampede Wrestling about a year ago. I wish that show would come back. There's some more territories to talk about. I feel, but it is what it is. But let's see. And speaking about Morris Malik, okay, I'm talking about. Uh, yeah. Speaking of Boris Malenko, I'm kind of changed. This is one of the things I was talking about before I realized I wasn't live. Speaking of Boris Malenko, uh, said Georgia Championship Wrestling next week. We're going because basically Bob Root was able to work after that. Ron Goblin, of course, Bob Orton, of course. They both became actually Ron Goblin became an NWA World Champion. But Boris Malenko did another uh, outlaw slash independent promotion uh, called I think it was called the Global Wrestling Alliance. So next week for our wrestling gold Saturday night or Friday night, we're gonna be watching the Boris Malenko promotion episode of that. Then the week following that, Georgia Championship Wrestling. So see, starting to prepare a little bit better as I'm trying to get better at doing this stuff. Let's see. Oh, and of course, this is a Stampede Wrestling episode from December 11th, 1987. And there's the link. So the first link was my recap of the Tales from the Territory Stampede. This one is the actual episode of Stampede Wrestling from 1987. Whenever you folks are ready, let me know. Ready? down here in five, four, three, two, one. Press play now. Oh my gosh, that music cheesy as fuck. And you know, that's definitely Owen Hart right there. Yes, it could be frightening. I think Wallen was a long time commentator. Let's see. Uh, Hashi Kwan is actually Shina Hashimoto, uh, who was a big star in Japan, of course. I believe he was a NWA World Champion as well. So he retired in 2004, debuted in 1984. So a 20-year career. Yeah, he still can't get away, especially Canada, because I think Stu Hart had a good relationship. Well, the NWA period had a good relationship with the Japanese promotions, and I'm pretty sure. And of course, Stu Hart had a good relationship with Japanese promoters because he sent all of his sons there, and plus other wrestlers like Chris Benoit and all that over there. So yes, he's a former uh, Shina Hashimoto is a former NWA World Champion, Triple Crown Champion, and IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Overall, a five-time World Champion. So Mr. Hito, he was probably best known in Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2010. Uh, he was actually a former sumo wrestler as well. Uh, so he was actually a one of the most trusted people and reliable workers for Stu Hart and his promotion. This is, Mr. Hito, who I'm talking about. He's a former NWA Florida Tag Team Champion, Canadian Open Tag Team Champion, Big Time Wrestling NWA American Tag Team Champion, of course. In Stampede, he was International Tag Team Champion with John Quinn, Gil Hayes, Higo Hamaguchi, Michael Martel, and Mr. Sakurada, and Jim Neihart, actually. Two-time North American champion and member of the Stampede Wrestling Hall of Fame, class of 1995. But if I remember correctly, Stampede did do something kind of like they do in soccer. They do like yellow cards and red cards. If you get a red card, you get disqualified. Yellow card, of course, is a warning. Well, I mean, I know we can't get away from Japanese wrestlers, but there's one thing these two Japanese wrestlers are doing that sometimes you don't see anymore. It's called, especially in AEW, it's called selling. I don't see them just trading chops, just to trade chops and stand there and take it. Oh, that's that flying headbutt. Pretty good flying roundhouse kick there. Uh, the bigger dude in the back with sunglasses, is that Larry Cameron? Yeah, this Gummas, I think he was pretty much a Stampede. Pretty much made his career in Stampede. I don't think he made it to WWF or National Wrestling Alliance, Rocket or Ted Turner. That's anything. Okay, that's not Larry Cameron. My bad. Yeah, yes. Bad News Allen, of course, Bad News Brown. Uh, Legit Tough Guy. Uh, I have no idea who that ripoff guy is. Back bar. Of course, I think Macon Singh. That's he was more famous in WCW as Norman the Lunatic, Norman the Trucker. Went to WWF, became the Shire or something like that, and Bastion Booger. I think we can make it to the Edmonton show. That's a short drive. Just kidding. That's an 80s style, man. Let's see, Kerry Brown. I know he wrestled in Florida for a little bit. Beef Wellington, I think he was pretty well spoken of by people who went to wrestling Stampede. Yeah, they say Wayland don't mind. I guess call it like it is. Uh, he's 260 pounds of blubber. Uh, that's it right there. That's what I was talking about. So, yellow card. That's a kind of like in soccer. Players get like a warning, like a green card, yellow card, and red card. They're out. I think. Yeah, obviously the commentator and Jerry Brown must not get along at all. Oh, here we go. Here's a big comeback. I am on 1805. Yeah, I'm on 1805. Taking a brief intermission here while people in the chat catch back up. Yeah, well, I mean, this Steve Salvo, he's got the Bret Hart glasses, he's got the hairdo. Uh, yeah, a lot bigger than Bret. I know this Steve DeSalvo. I think he had a cup of coffee in WCW. I know he was. I know, like, I remember reading about him in the magazines. Big guy and all that. And I think he wrestled in Portland as well. I can't remember. Yeah, yeah. He was also called Steve Strong. Puerto Rico. Yeah, a cup of coffee on in WWF. Had a tryout match there. 1805. Click and play right now. But yeah, but yeah, I guess some people thought he was going to become this big star and never did. Uh, I, he also had a cup of coffee in the AWA. They called him Billy Jack Strong. So He seems a little more crisper on the mic than Bret Hart was. But that could be just the Canadian look. I want one of those hats. So as the interview guy, I want one of those hats. Very young. This is rookie Owen Hart. He was actually the rookie of the year of 1987 in PW or Pro Wrestling Illustrated. So on July 4th, 1989, he was traveling with Davey Boy Smith and Chris Benoit when he suffered massive injuries to his left leg following a head-on collision in Jasper, Alberta. He took 5 years and it took 5 years and 9 operations to put it all back together, and the injury shortened his career. He is currently a truck driver in British Columbia. Nah, this is a guy by the name of Carl Moffat. And I think Johnny Smith was billed as Davy Boy Smith's brother or cousin. I can blow his shoulder out. A rookie, very young Brian Pillman. And interesting enough that uh, Pillman and Bruce Hart were called Bad Company. A double whammy. Yeah, I think he just stayed in Japan and Canada. I know you had like one or two matches in ECW, but this was you know probably like 96, 97. And the referee didn't see it. See that? That's some good old school stuff. Babyface gets close to making a tag, but the heels distract the referee. No, I mean not yeah. I mean, like I said, I think Johnny Smith pretty much uh, stayed in Japan and in Canada. Oh, we got a heel referee here. So yeah, he spent most of the time all Japan Pro Wrestling, uh, Canadian Rocky Mountain, basically Canada, Stampede Wrestling, and someplace else. He wound up retiring in 2003. I actually recognize the name Jonathan Holiday. Uh, I think he did AWA. Then this once that dissolved, he quit. Yeah, I don't think these two guys didn't have fledgling careers. Like I think Jonathan Holiday, I think that's his name. He wrestled in AWA during the dying days, and that was it. Of course, doing the probably mastered the art of the Lex Luger promos there. Um, After all their interviews, got to take his shirt off and pose. Bill LaFleur, the Kansas Jayhawk, Dan Crawford. I believe that's right. Yep. Uh, and Puerto Rico, he was a Kansas Jayhawk, Dan Crawford. Uh, Probably more famous being a member of the Can Am Express and All Japan Pro Wrestling. Also went to ECW and the World Wrestling Federation. So yeah, I guess Bobby Jaggers is not really a popular guy in Kansas City or Kansas, not Kansas City, just Kansas, state of Kansas. Since the two times he formed the Kansas Jayhawks, he had to get Texan and Dutch Mantel, that motherfucker, and Dan Crawford, Phil LaFleur or Phil LaFlon. That was time for a comeback, but I don't know who's blowing that whistle, but it's freaking annoying. Also, I'm starting to notice stars is a Canadian thing. They all like putting a star on their boot, star on their gear, on their tights and trunks. So, so yeah, the whole star thing. Like Bret Hart, always had stars on his gear and boots. Should have delayed there, brother. Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of what happened with this Steve DeSalvo. Like I said, I remember reading his name in yeah, um I remember reading about him in magazines and stuff like that, and they kind of picture him being a big deal because he was a. I mean, it was the '80s. You got to remember, the big physiques was in at the time, but they thought this guy would be a pretty big star. But like I said, cup of coffee and had tryout matches in WWF and cup of coffee in WWF and AWA. So I think he wrestled in Puerto Rico as well. Yes, he's the best there is, the best there was, the best there will be. Say it, dude. Yeah, I was waiting. I heard that. I was like, come on, spit it all out. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there will be. But I will say, Dan Crawford or Phil LaFon and Doug Furnace were a pretty good tag team. I think that announcer guy was checking out before. Yes. Bad News Brown or Bad News Allen. Now, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, because, WWE just don't care for tag teams. Not saying WCW would have done better, but yeah, I was watching some old WWF that had Bad News Allen, Bad News Brown on there, and ooh, big guy took a hell of a bump. But I think a Bad News Allen would definitely get over today. I mean, he would probably be in that main event freaking picture. Which I don't know with his background, he probably would have choose the MMA. And there's Bastion Booger, Lunatic Norm, Fucker Norm. Very young on heart. At this time, he was regarded as probably one of the best high flyers in wrestling, and he's got his stars on his britches. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was okay at that time. I just preferred NWA better. Oh, it's breaking down in Tulsa now. We got all four men in the ring. Referee is losing control here because it's breaking down in Tulsa. I mean, breaking down in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Nice. Didn't see a lot of suicide dives at this time in wrestling. Yeah. Oh, now all the heels come to the ring. Oh, it's definitely breaking down in Tulsa now. Arr. Arr. Because enough is enough and it's time for a change. I'm not a nugget. Arr. Arr. The producer was Ross Hart. See, I like seeing the end credits on these now. See who the executive producers were and stuff like that. All right. I'm pretty sure you could if you know, it could be that hard to grow a mustache like that. Anyway, uh, yeah, at this point, I don't think I look right with facial hair. But, so yeah, we got to see a lot of recognizable names. Mike Cassini, like I said, was Bastion Booger, Norman the Lunatic, uh, Steve DeSalvo, Steve Strong, and like I said, remember him in magazines that thought he was gonna be big up and coming star, just didn't make it. Uh, Ryan Pillman, of course, uh, he had a pretty good career. Thought way ahead of his time. Uh, what was about to become a bona fide superstar, I think, when well, that auto accident messed him up, and unfortunately, he passed away. And Owen Hart was always really good, especially when he turned heel and all that. Unfortunately, lost him at the pay per view on that. I guess they were trying to kill him down on the ceiling at one pay per view. But Owen Hart was really good. Of course, Bad News Brown, man, he was really good on the mic. I mean, this was not the WWF version where he was talking about being from Harlem and all that. He kind of delved in that a little bit in that last promo, but a very crisp promo, looked professional and stuff like that. Jason Terrible, he kind of just stayed there. Beef Wellington, I remember hearing about him, reading about him in the magazines. Is this all Canada himself? Uh, who else? Shina Hashimoto. Uh, definitely remember hearing his name a lot of times, especially in the 90s. Being a big star in Japan, multi-time IWGP Triple Crown champion and NWA World Champion. I think he beat Steve Corino for that. What else did we see? And of course, Dan Crawford, Phil LaFleur, or Philip LaFon. I believe this is before he became a Kansas Jayhawk. Yeah, I'm not sure who decides who's going to be Bobby Jagger's tag team partner in the Kansas Jayhawks, but obviously they couldn't find anybody else, any other wrestler from Kansas to team with him, like him enough to team with them or something. Oh yeah, it's most definitely uh the bootleg humongous, but he was supposed to be Jason the Terrible, the bootleg Akbar, and very, very much bootleg Missy Hyatt. Um, but she didn't talk either, so that's probably a good. I imagine she was just there to look pretty. Um, but yeah, it seemed like it was a pretty good promotion territory at that time. Um, gosh, that play by play that Ed Whalen guy, did not he didn't mince words about his feelings about uh, Flubber Boy Jerry Brown. I think that's what his name was. I know he wrestled Florida. I think we actually watched the Florida show in the past where I had him on there. Yeah, this was the this was the second run on October 28th, 1985. The WWF Soul Stampede back to the Hart family with Bruce Hart taking the reins, and by 1986, the Tiger territory was given a shot of adrenaline with new talent such as Owen Hart, Brian Pillman, Christian Watt, Beef Wellington, and Johnny Smith coming to tangle with Glenn Singh and his Karachi stable, including Shanae Hashimoto, Gary Albright, and Mike Shaw. Of course, Mike Shaw was making sing. The Viet Cong Express, which included a masked Hiroshi Hase, who don't not everybody likes Japanese wrestling, but Hase was fucking good. Uh, in December 1987, they added a women's championship, the IWA World Women's Championship, with Monster Ripper as their champion. But by 1989, the championship moved to Japan. Despite the valiant 4 years trying to resurrect the wrestling scene in Calgary to its former glory, Stampede officially shut down on December 18th, 1989. The closure stemmed from long-standing problems between Bruce Hart and Ed Whalen, Producer Fred Mays constantly editing too much content off TV and paid disputes with the talent. Uh, their final show for the closing down was held in Edmonton on December 16th, with Larry Cameron defeating Bob Emery in the main event to retain the North American Championship. Let's see. There was another failed attempt. Uh, first one was March 1990 by Bruce Hart, but it only lasted 3 months, running smaller towns, including or smaller towns outside of Calgary and Edmonton, due to lack of approval by the Calgary Wrestling and Boxing Commission to promote shows. The next attempt was around December 91 by Obu Wizzle. It only lasted a couple of weeks. Between July 95 and July 97, Bruce Hart promoted one-off shows periodically at the Rocky Ford Rodeo at Rocky Ford, uh, Alberta, Canada. On December 15th, 1995, a special Stampede Wrestling tribute show was held at the Corral in Calgary, celebrating Stu Hart's life and career. It features several Stampede alumni, as well as talent from both the World Wrestling Federation and World Championship Wrestling. Main event saw Bret Hart successfully defend WWF Championship against Davey Boy Smith. And we have a third run here. In July 1999, Bruce and Ross Hart reopened Stampede, showcasing graduates from the Hart Dungeon Training School. However, only weeks after the first event, the promotion once again became inactive following the death of Owen Hart in May. Although considering closing the promotion, the Hart family continued to promote events 5 months later and began touring Western Canada. Although successful, the Harts were forced to cancel several tours in late 2001 and early 2002 due to the rival promotion backed by Calgary businessmen. The promotion also lost much of its roster due to its rival hiring away top stars. 1995, promoter Mike Bell and Devin Nichols, that's Hannibal guy, took over the day-to-day operations for Stampede Wrestling during an event in Spray Lakes Sawmill Sports Club in Concord, Alberta. Nicholson faced Abdullah Butcher after the scheduled main event between Lance Storm and Rhino was canceled when Rhino failed to appear on the same event. Longtime tag team partners T.J. Wilson and Harry Smith faced each other in Smith's final match for the promotion before leaving for the World Wrestling Entertainment. Bruce and Ross Hart sold Stampede Wrestling to Bill Bell in 2007. Promotion ceased operations again in April 2008. Stampede's weekly shows were held mostly at the Victoria Pavilion in Calgary, with special events held at the Stampede Corral. So, yeah. WWE currently controls the Stampede's extensive tape library. In December 2015, the WWE Network began adding Stampede wrestling shows to its vault section. However, it was all removed a few days later after Bret Hart proved that he owned the rights to the footage of his match. So, yeah, brief little history of at least relaunches and failed relaunches. But uh, it was a top promotion. And even for not even counting the Owen Hart, Brian Pillman, Chris Benoit. Stomper was a big star in Canada as well. Let's see, Honky Tonk Man got a little bit of start. Uh, Sylvester Ritter, Junkyard Dog, he was first discovered in Calgary as well by Bill Watts, where he brought him into Louisiana territory and gave him the music, gave him the name, and everything else. Uh, actually, Britt Martell's brother, Michael or Michelle Martell, Street wrestled there as well. Jake Roberts, of course. Dr. D, David Schultz. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of people made that Canadian route, and some of them didn't like it too much because of the cold weather. I like the AWA promotion. It's like just don't dig this cold weather, especially people from the south. We Southerners we don't do not at all. So yes, so that pretty much does it for this week's Wrestling Gold Friday night. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Even though I talked to nobody for 30 minutes, but once I realized I messed up again, we got it. So it's all good. Got in the tank. So anyway, like I said, next week we're gonna check out Boris Malenko's promotion in Florida. Got a feeling that might be a little bit comical, but we will definitely see that. So we probably not gonna see the uh, top notch professionals. I don't think there, but like I said, I do remember Dean and Joe being there. So Dean and Joe are very talented. Um, but other than that, appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, click that thumbs up button. Lets me know you like it. And if you're not subscribed yet, be a champ and click on that subscribe button. Hopefully, everybody has a good weekend. Have a good one. Take it easy. Until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Thank you for checking out our P2 Vision. Subscribe to our P2 Vision to watch Ronald Ray's content that covers the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. His weekly content starts off with Wrestling Trivia Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Ronald Ray asks 5 questions about the sport of professional wrestling. So tune in and have some fun. Then it's WWE Monday Night Raw Recaps, where he recaps all the action from the Raw brand. Ronald Ray also does an AEW Dynamite recap show where he recaps and has fun doing it. Do you like live streams? Well, join Ronald Ray live on Spot Show Livestream, where he discusses current wrestling. Join the chat and have fun. Spot Show Livestream is on Thursday nights starting at 8 p.m. If current pro wrestling isn't your thing, like all wrestling past and present, or you're a new fan and want to hear how things were back in the day, then tune in to Wrestling Gold Friday night, where Ronald Ray discusses back in the day when wrestling was wrestling, featuring watch-alongs. That's Wrestling Gold Friday night on Fridays starting at 8 p.m.